Hey everyone, it's me Hunter, and I'm back with another Thomas the Tank Engine character. Today we have Bear, the diesel locomotive. He only appears in the Railway series, along with some merchandise, and I maybe mentioned another story here or there, but primarily you're only going to find him in the Railway series and in fan series on YouTube and such. Bear was probably in my top three diesels after making Diesel, the original Diesel character in the universe. I was like, okay, what characters are here? And I just recently, in 2020, early 2020, I finished reading all of the Railway series books by the Reverend W. Awdry. Haven't read Christopher's books yet, if I'm being honest, but uh, got through all of Wilbert's books, and Bear was a reoccurring character every now and then. I'm like, you know what, he'd be a fun character to build. So he's a class 35, and as I amassed parts for building Wellsworth and other projects, I slowly added some of his parts into the mix, and finally I'm able to present him to all of you. I really hope you like this build, especially because I don't like the diesels in general. And I think it's the same complaint most people have is they're very boring. A steam engine, yeah, we can even in Lego you can say okay they all start to look the same, but the steam engine has character. Whether it's the splashers, the funnel, the boiler size, the firebox, the cab, the detailing on the front, the tender, or coal bunker, if they're a tank engine. They're all very unique, or they just have something different to each of them. Where the diesels, they're just rectangles with, okay, let's put a window in here and a vent in there. But Bear was a character I wanted to build. I really liked his character, his personality in the books. I love the personality he's received by the fans in fan-made series. So I figured Bear is the next diesel locomotive on my list. I have one more diesel character that's almost done, and I have one I plan to start very soon. It's just waiting on parts. But let's talk about Bear, at least the build, a little bit more. So Bear's biggest challenge was building the front and the back. Anyone that knows what a Class 35 looks like, or Bear, if you've seen images of Bear, the front is angled. And it's got that angle in it. It's a very slight angle, but it's there and it's noticeable. And the biggest problem is I had to put it in, and I'm using these dark green or these earth green color, because he is in the green livery with the D3, as you see there, after he gets bought by Sir Topham Hatt and starts to work on the island of Sodor permanently. So what I had to do for the front side with the face is I actually had to build the center part of the front flat so I could put the face on, and then actually make the face thicker than normal, probably about double the thickness, so it embeds back in there, but it also sticks out. You can see, because otherwise his face would be way back in there and kind of obscured by the angled plates you see here on the side. And that's how I got those angles in. I had to figure out how do I get these angles in while putting in the face, and I came across all these dark green angle plates I have, or wing plates I had, and I put them all together. And I was like, okay, I can put that here, that there, and boom. So that's how I went ahead and I built the sides here. Actually, originally it was just a plate, and then it was a row of bricks underneath the window right here. However, I went ahead and changed that once I got the numbers in, because I had to get the numbers on, and the numbers appear in front of the door. So that was just a little bit of reworking I had to do. Speaking of the doors on this locomotive, which is something I like to go back and do with diesel, is I embedded the doors in half a stud. You can see on the front and the back, and same thing on this side, I use a jumper plate. I ended up going with dark gray just because I didn't have a lot of the dark green or earth green jumper plates, so I'm like, you know what, I'll use gray. It looks fine, it looks okay, kind of like a floor, and it does, it looks nice, and it breaks it up a little bit. Just adds more to the character, just stuff to notice. So I set it in half a stud, as you can see. The only downside is, you can see over here, is that when you use these windshield pieces, there's this opening right here. So that is a downside to this build. But as I've come to know, more working with Lego is not everything's perfect. It looks nice. Overall, he looks great. So I'm not going to complain about that. Further on down the road, if I decide to make some changes, that might be something I address. But I really like the doors being inset a little bit, so I rather have that detail and have this little bit that you can only see from these specific angles, because really when you're looking at it on the side, you can't really tell, and obviously when you look at it from the front, since you're more focused on the front, you're not going to really notice it. So that wasn't a big deal. While we're here at the front too, I got a little horn up top. Nothing crazy. I just wanted to find something that was still gold. I like to keep my whistles and my horns all in this golden color, just because it stands out on all the locomotives, and I always think, like their face, their whistle, their horns are unique to them. So I'm always trying and striving to build a different horn or whistle for every locomotive I build. If we go ahead and look at the side detailing, we got his big vent here where his engine is. When you look at the illustrations in the book, in a way it's hard to tell. So then that's when I had to really go to the real life Class 35s and kind of figure out. And as I looked at a couple models, looked back at a Bear, I ended up going with this design here, these window, vent, window, small vent. Now, as far as I could tell, that's pretty accurate to the Class 35s and to Bear, from what I could tell. So that's the kind of pattern I went with. Let me know if you think it should be different. I considered moving the vent back here, or even swapping this window and the vent. So then you got window, big vent, window, little vent, window. And that's just more of trying to balance it out. But I think I like this look much better, because I did try all those options. And between what I saw in images and what I liked, this is the kind of pattern I liked best. I use this kind of lime green along the bottom. It's a 2-plate thickness. Originally I was going to do 1 brick, but it just was too thick. And sometimes you'll find that doing 2 plates is the perfect thickness you're looking for. 1 plate was too thin, a brick was too big, so obviously you got to find that middle ground and go with 2 plates, which look really nice. Now, and turn around and look at the back. So the back, I actually, after talking with one of my Lego buddies, as I call them, because I showed him this the other day before I recorded this, saying, hey, Bear's done, what do you think? And he seemed to like it, as far as I could tell. But he did have one recommendation, which I kind of didn't consider, because every time I was looking at those images of the Class 35, I was always looking at it from the front. And the difference between real-life locomotives and the Thomas universe is face and no face. So I originally had just some clear, round, translucent tiles in there, or round tiles, and they represent lamps. And he's like, well, you should make them tail lamps, because isn't that, the back? I was like, of course. So sometimes, I'll admit, talk to your fellow Lego friends, fellow Lego builders out there, because even something silly as that, which was super simple, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, of course, why didn't I do that? I made that change, and it just shows the benefits of working with and talking with other builders. And lastly, something you probably noticed on the front and on the back, and this is something different, because really the only stickers I ever use on my Thomas models are for numbers. Well, I was able to get printed tiles for Bear. Now, what the Class 35s have and Bear have is a split window here, and technically they got, some pillars on the sides as well. However, I didn't do much digging into Lego parts, because I know there is, or at least when I thought about it, I thought they only had an inverted windshield with these white pillars on them. So instead of kind of digging around and looking for it like I should have done, I went ahead and I just picked up 2 windshields from my local brick and minifigs, and then I ended up using, I keep most of my sticker sheets as long as they have a sticker on them. Lately, especially as I buy duplicate sets for parts, I don't get rid of, or I don't use all the stickers. So I went ahead and I actually cut out the white kind of background of the sticker, and I used them here in the middle as well as on the front, and I think that looks good. And then I have white bricks back here and there to represent, if you look at Bear, he's got kind of a white all the way around here. I know we can make the argument, well, if I use a sticker there, I should use a sticker here and sticker here. I didn't want to use a sticker that much, but I figured if there was going to be arguments anywhere, it was going to be on the front, so I only did the front. Also, because for whatever reason I had troubles cutting that day, I cut my finger like twice, so I was kind of done after I got those two stickers in place. You can probably tell a little bit, as I do have a driver in there. I bought a second crocodile locomotive, so I'm using one of those. And let me see if I can get can't really get the character out, but I have so I used that torso and went ahead and used a female head and some extra hair I had. I have a lot of female hair, but not a lot of female head, so I had to go out and find a female figure. I think I just got I bought a couple Hermiones and a couple Black Widows because I can get them pretty cheap. And I went ahead, so I used a Hermione head with a a crocodile locomotive engineer or worker body. But that's it. Since I have this new camera, I can actually record longer than 10 minutes, and I think 11 minutes for this model, for being a rectangle, and maybe a character that not many hardcore fans know of. I think 11 minutes pushing 12 is more than enough. So I really want to thank you all for watching. Hope I didn't ramble too much, and I promise Building Wellsworth is coming. With everything going on, I've just had these big part delays. I make these orders and they get delayed, and as you all know, I always buy from Lego. Well, I've had to look elsewhere now, and I have looked into Bricklink. However, I have an eBay account, and for me, right now, it was just easier to buy through eBay, and I've had good experiences so far. That being said, you know, it's not always a good experience. I think I bought a lot of like 50, and I got like, there's like 7 of them that were damaged or cracked. It's just what it is. But anyways, I got parts coming. I promise Building Wellsworth is coming. I do want to thank you all for watching. Comment down below what you think of Bear and what diesel characters you might want to see next, even though I have mine lined up already. Maybe there's a character I haven't thought about doing yet that you'd like to see. But again, thanks for watching. Please comment down below if you'd like the video if you enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next video.